Hello, gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all are having a wonderful day so far. I am super excited to hear more about what you guys are able to get up to today. Uh, so, even though I'm not there with you today, just know that I'm thinking about you and hoping that your project goes really well. So, I want to give you the most time as possible to work on the project today. So, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can begin this presentation. So today, our focus is going to be a little bit on an academic thesis, okay? Our daily objective is I can create a virtual museum exhibit that details the interactions between the Native Americans, the British colonizers, and the African slaves by working with my teammates and writing an academic essay. The need to know question that you will be answering today is, how are the three groups connected? Right? For boy band, we have two questions. What are you most excited for about the project and working on the project this week? What are you most nervous for in terms of working on the project this week? So, with all that being said, we're going to pause the video right now so that you may participate in boy band. All right, gentlemen, welcome back. For the next few minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about writing an academic thesis, okay? And this was over the next 3 days, I'm going to go bit by bit through writing an academic essay like a historian. So we can begin practicing these writing skills that we're going to be using all year long. So, leading up to the thesis should not be the first sentence of your essay, okay? You're not jumping straight in with the thesis. An introduction is made up of a hook sentence. The hook sentence should make the reader interested in the rest of your essay. Convince them to read the rest of your essay in the first line. Make it sound interesting. An introduction is also made up of background information, okay? Set the scene for the reader. What information do they need to understand? Do they need to understand what your essay will be about? Okay? What do you know that they don't know that will be important for creating for understanding your work? And then finally, after you provide those two things, you give the thesis. What is a thesis? I know you all know what a thesis is, but I want to go over it because review is important, practice is important, and doing it in history, creating a thesis in history, is going to be a little bit different than a thesis that you create in English class. It's going to be a little bit different than the thesis you create in science class, right? We're trying to argue things like a historian, not like a scientist or a writer, right? We're doing this as a historian. So, a thesis is a one-sentence statement of your argument or your claim, okay? The thesis should answer the essay question. So whatever the question is that you are trying to answer in the essay, that's what your thesis should be, is it should answer that question. In this case, you've been given a driving question, right? How did the interaction of the indigenous people, the English, and the Africans influence the growth of the 13 colonies? This is a driving question that you are familiar with. In the future, we will practice essays where you come up with the question. But for now, you have the question, okay? So, we are going to move forward with trying an example, okay? So I'm going to just, right now, I worked on this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to walk you through putting together an introduction paragraph for this project. So let's begin with the hook sentence. My hook sentence is, the United States that we know today was made possible by the settlers fighting Native Americans and enslaving Africans. Okay? There's nothing crazy about that sentence, nothing world-breaking about that sentence. It's just something a little interesting, right? Something that may challenge what the reader might think, okay? Where all of a sudden, the first thing we're doing is talking about wars and slavery, okay? Someone might want to read a little bit more about that. So now I need to provide some background information. So I know, just like you know, all the different pieces of information to understand that hook sentence and that thesis. But what does your reader not understand that they need to know? Here's an example. After Columbus discovered the Americas in 1492, the powerful European countries conquered as much of the land as they could to make money. What happened next was one of the world's most diverse explosions of trade, known as the Columbian Exchange. One of the countries who participated in this exchange was Britain, who conquered a stretch of land on what is now the east coast of the United States. These colonies would someday become a large, powerful country. Okay? So what did I do there? I very quickly summarized a few hundred years of history. I mentioned how Columbus landed in the Americas, discovering these Americas for the Europeans. And then I began talking a little bit about colonialism, about Europeans conquering the land, about the Columbian Exchange, so this exchange of people and ideas. And then I introduced Britain, the main character of our story, along with the Native Americans and these enslaved Africans, okay? And then I got the reader thinking a little bit more about what the United States will be in the future. And now, remember the driving question, okay? I need to create my thesis. I need to revisit my driving question. How did the interaction of the indigenous people, the English, and the Africans influence the growth of the 13 colonies? With that question in mind, here is my thesis. The interaction of the indigenous people, the English settlers, and the African slaves influenced the growth of the 13 colonies by creating a society where the English had complete control over the other groups, right? So I'm answering the question and I'm making a claim or making an argument. My claim, my argument begins right here. So this first part of the sentence, from starting with the interaction of the indigenous people, going down to influenced the growth of the 13 colonies by, that's just me answering the question. The rest is my argument. And my argument is these interactions created a society where the English had complete control over the other groups. Okay, that's my claim. English ended up with complete control. And we know this because slavery is a really big deal, right? And the Pequot War and King Philip's War were what established dominance in the New England colonies, okay? So let's put it all together. I just take those three sections, my hook sentence, my background information, and my thesis, which you can see underlined here. And this is my introduction paragraph. I put together those three pieces, and here I am with the beginning of my academic essay written as a historian, okay? So, for the rest of class today, I want you to spend the next 10 minutes or so beginning to work on your introduction paragraph, okay? That's all I want you to work on with your essay today. There's a document on Edmodo with writing tips to follow. This document will be updated as we go along with the week, okay? This document will be updated as we begin talking about body paragraphs and about the conclusion, okay? So I want you to maybe begin thinking about what body paragraphs or pieces of support information you can use to support your thesis, but I want you to start with creating this introduction paragraph, okay? Then You will have the rest of class today to work on the group project together, all right? Reminder, the due dates for both items as of now is Friday. But thanks to Tony to engaging us in this conversation yesterday, if we're getting towards the end of the week and a Friday due date isn't realistic, we will change it, okay? Things got a little weird with us going online, right? So now we have this new situation we have to adapt to. And if that means we have to change our schedule, then we are going to change our schedule, okay? I don't want to mess you guys up or screw you guys over. I want this class to be one where you can be successful. You have the time you need to be successful. So, with that being said, everyone, good luck on your introduction paragraph writing. Good luck on your group project work today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing your best on this group project this week. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.